Welcome to today's MJ News Digest, January 9, 2021. Here are today's headlines. Michael Jackson in Fortnite. MJ India History Show News. Crunchy Black defends MJ. Michael's Goldfish. Damien Shields claps back. And Jamon Ball drama. Oh, we've got a lot to get through. But first of all, I just want to say a big thank you to all of you who watched my Loving Neverland Exposed, to all of you who contributed to the discussion, who interacted both here on YouTube in the comment section and also over on Twitter. Many of you didn't agree with some of what I had to say, and that's okay. I think we had a really good discussion, especially here on YouTube. And also you can check out Nan's reply, or her response to the video here on the YouTube comments. My reply to Nan and her reply to me. We've also contacted each other on Twitter, and all is well. There is no hatred or anything like that. I stand by what I said regarding Loving Neverland, but I also stand by the fact that I do still consider Loving Neverland to be an important Michael Jackson documentary, and I love the work that they've done, and I love the everything that they've achieved regarding Loving Neverland. So as I said in the other video, if you haven't watched it already, all 4 videos, please do. I'm still have to watch the last part, which I hope to be doing very soon. Okay, so on to our news. Our first story is gaming news. So this is Michael Jackson Fortnite skin. Fan project excites fans of the King of Pop. So this is regarding the very popular game Fortnite. I played it for about 5 minutes a while ago. Not my cup of tea, couldn't really get into it, but I know it's got millions of fans. So fans of Michael Jackson and Fortnite are currently getting excited about a fan-made project that combines the iconic pop star with a popular battle royale game. Pictures and videos of Michael Jackson's skins have begun appearing on social media without context, leading some to believe that an official partnership between Jackson's estate and Epic Games may be on the horizon. Well, it's not. In reality, though, these images are actually the work of a very talented fan who is imagining what Fortnite could look like if it featured a little more thriller. And this is from that fan's Twitter account. Amazing work. Is Michael Jackson in Fortnite? Currently, it does not appear that there are plans to bring Michael Jackson skins to Fortnite. The skins that are trending online are a fan creation, and while they look very convincing, they're not actually available in game, and they're not the work of Epic Games. The skins are the work of a YouTuber whose name I'm not going to even try to pronounce, but I will be leaving a link to this news story in the article so you can check it out yourself. And he creates a series of what if videos. But yeah, I think they look really good, really professionally done. So at the moment, Michael Jackson officially is not in Fortnite. Okay, on to our next story. This is from BBC News, India. A Michael Jackson concert in India that's now tax-free by, is it Sutik Biswas? Now, this article contains a lot of foreign names, which I'm not very good at pronouncing. It also includes quite a lot of math, so I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to read a little bit of it, but I'll urge you to check out the link in the description. So, in 1996, Michael Jackson played to a packed audience in Mumbai in what was to be his only performance in India. So that was for the History Tour. So that's just some information going on regarding the tour. At the time, the state where Mumbai is located was governed by the right-wing Shiv Sena party. It had waived entertainment tax on the show on the grounds that it was meant for a philanthropic and charitable purpose. Now, I don't really understand what that means, but this article is kind of packed full of background links. So, for example, if you click on philanthropic and charitable, it will open up a PDF regarding kind of like entertainment tax. And all the different clauses in it at the time. So there's some really good, useful background information. The show soon became embroiled in a prolonged legal battle involving the government, the concert organiser and a feisty consumer protection group. At stake were issues like whether the show was eligible for a tax waiver and even how Jackson's music could be defined. Interestingly, it says Jackson had, for reasons known to only a few, waived his performance fee, India Today magazine reported in November 1996. The pop superstar had promised to donate profits from the concert, excuse me, which eventually ran to more than $1 million to a Shiv Sena-run youth employment project, wrote an author for an award-winning book. But a consumer project challenged the waiver in the Bombay High Court. So it looks like this has been going on for ages. Obviously, it's 2021. The concert was in 1996, I believe, and it's kind of only just been sorted out. So I gather that the tax was kind of like held, but it's now going to be paid back to the organisers who organised the show. Okay, so over onto Vlad TV. Exclusive Crunchy Black. Those white kids were around Michael Jackson to get money. Now, Vlad seems to like bringing up Michael Jackson in nearly all of his videos. So in this clip, Crunchy Black took issue with those alleging Michael Jackson molested them. According to Crunchy Black, it was obvious how people were using their kids to try to get money out of Michael. I will be linking this in the description, but I'm not going to be playing the video for two reasons. One reason is that at one point Crunchy Black kind of says that he doesn't know if Michael Jackson was guilty or not, and the other reason is that, excuse my French, but Crunchy Black is off his fucking head on this video, and I for one do not want to be showing any kind of video promoting drugs or showing someone under the influence of drugs, but it is an interesting interview if you want to watch it yourself, and we can count Crunchy Black as someone who is standing up for Michael Jackson and completely not agreeing with leaving Neverland whatsoever. So that's a good thing. Okay, our next story is over on Inspired Traveller. Fab Moravan, you might remember him from Millie Vanilli. This is life after Millie Vanilli. There he is there. So I'm not going to read the article. It doesn't read very well. It's from the France Media Agency, and I think it's kind of been lost in translation. It doesn't flow very well. Some of it doesn't kind of like make sense, but you get the gist of it. But basically, Millie Vanilli were a massive group back in the late 80s, early 90s, won Grammys and American Music Awards, and then it turned out that they didn't actually sing anything on their debut album. It's quite a tragic story, actually, and Fab is talking about a film coming out regarding this and a book, although he's been talking about a film since at least 2009. But there is a Michael Jackson reference here, which I thought was quite interesting. So we will scroll down and find the Michael Jackson reference. It's only a very small bit. Here we go. So among the amused memories, a visit to Michael Jackson, who shows them his goldfish named Millie and Vanilli. And I just thought that was cool. One, that Michael Jackson must have been into Millie Vanilli to name his goldfish Millie and Vanilli, and the fact that Michael Jackson had goldfish and that he met the duo. I did a quick Google search to see if there was any other stories regarding this. I couldn't find anything, so maybe this is the first we've heard that Michael Jackson had goldfish called Millie and Vanilli. Our next story is from DamienShields.com. So you might remember from the last episode, Damien Shields was subjected to some awful bullying by the MJJC fan forum, and this is how Damien has responded in a really classy way by putting out an article talking about the issues that kind of inspired the bullying, if you like. So it's regarding the work that Michael did with Paul Anka. This article is called Love Never Felt So Good and Michael Jackson's Work with Paul Anka, and as I said, it's available on DamienShields.com. Damien himself says the following is based on a chapter from my book, first released in 2015 as Escape Origins and reissued in an expanded edition in 2018. Wow, as long ago as that. As Michael Jackson Songs and Stories from the Vaults. If you don't have these books already, please do get them. If you only want to get one of them, get the re-release or the reissue, Michael Jackson Songs and Stories from the Vaults. But both are very worthy additions to your book collection. So, as I said, the article goes into more detail regarding the creation of the Paul Anka tracks, specifically Love Never Felt So Good. It also gives, it's a long article, it's worth your time reading it. It also goes into some history, and also what I particularly liked about it is that it really highlights Michael's commitment to self-improvement, which is something that I believe in and something that I love reading about because I find it really inspiring. And of course, it does go into the creation of the Paul Anka tracks, when they were created, etc. Here we've got screenshots from the copyright, date of creation 1980. So thank you very much, Damien Shields. If you haven't read the article, please do. I'll leave the link in the description. So I think I'm going to need a sip of my tea here. Jamon Ball. Oh, I love Jamin. He's not afraid, is he, to give his opinion. So he kind of like was embroiled in some Twitter drama. This is in response to John Ziegler, who kind of like went against leaving Neverland, which is really good for us. But Jamin is basically saying that Ziegler is willing to spread disinformation regarding the global climate emergency and COVID. You got a pass from many of us for your views on leaving Neverland, but this stuff can no longer be ignored. Oh, and Ziegler clapped back with "laugh my arse off." Broader views and behaviour. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? So a lot of people are kind of, I don't know if people have fans got the wrong end of the stick here with Jamin's tweets. I don't know. Let's see what some of them are saying. So Ed says it's not disinformation. Oh, where are we going here? My mouse seems to have a mind of its own. Basically, okay, so my computer seems to have frozen. So as I said, some fans don't agree with Jamin, some fans do. There does seem to be, I don't want to say a bullying context, I always seem to use the wrong word, but there does seem to be kind of like a thread here with some of the fans. Ed is saying it's not disinformation if it's what he believes, is entitled to his beliefs, as you are entitled to disagree with them. I completely agree with Ed there. Joe says, so he believes COVID tyranny means he has to wear a mask and can't go to a ball game. Meanwhile, the Mayor of London has just declared a state of emergency because the COVID surge is now so dire it threatens to swap the NHS. But if Ziegler is talking about having to wear a mask and not being able to go to a ball game, if he's complaining about that, he can complain about it. I have been complaining to friends that I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do over Christmas because effectively we were in lockdown over Christmas. Doesn't mean that I am anti-COVID or I don't believe that there is such a thing as COVID. It just means that I was pissed off, as millions of us were, that we weren't able to do what we normally were able to do. Also, I think there's something to be aware of as well, is that this is from Jamin's account. It's not from the MJ Cast account. And I think some fans kind of... Jamin is a massive part, obviously, of MJ Cast. And maybe they feel that the two are kind of like linked. But this is from Jamin's own account. So it's Jamin's opinions. It's not the opinions of the MJ Cast. Jamin then goes on to Razorfist by saying, I see you're trying to deflect. So this is Razorfist talking about Black Lives Matters. If being anti-Black Lives Matters wasn't enough, now you're online bringing about, I've missed that. Anyway, so he's coming for Razorfist, and Razorfist has replied basically saying, need to remember to cancel Michael Jackson for being anti-abortion, etc. And this, oh dear, this didn't go down very well. Maria says, the responses from your recent tweets are horrifying. I think that's a bit too much. They're not horrifying, they're just kind of opinions, aren't they? Good to know where we can find some of the icons who some of the loons, oh dear, who stormed the Capitol. Oh dear, dearie me. Hello Tatty says, what's more outrageous than people calling him to shut the fuck up by saying everyone is entitled to their own opinions, so does he. Make it make sense. Yeah, Jamin is entitled to his opinions, everyone is entitled to their opinions, but Jamin is the one kind of like sticking his neck out there, and he's it's kind of like getting shot down for it. I do feel for Jamin. I like the fact that Jamin is inspiring this kind of discussion. There is other kind of like arguments about whether or not we should be keeping politics out of the MJ fan community. I suppose that's a personal preference, isn't it? Cohiba says, Razorfist, a white guy who never experienced racism, is against Black Lives Matter. I don't want to see Razorfist tweet about Michael Jackson ever again. Pathetic. I can see where Cohiba's coming from. I think it's a bit strong there. I think, for example, myself, I agree with the idea and the concept of Black Lives Matter. Of course I do, but I don't agree with some of the organisations' kind of like motives. But that doesn't mean that I don't agree with Black Lives Matter. Of course I do. There is you can agree and disagree. It's not the same thing. The Pale Prince of Peculiarity, cool name, says, I hate being political in the MJ fandom. It's too diverse for that, and I still can't quite decide whether that's a good or a bad thing. That's interesting. Recently, the MJ Cast retweeted my tweet regarding what happened at Capitol Hill, those horrific scenes, and the MJ, I think it was Elise, said, we don't often get political here on the MJ Cast, but when we do it when it's right, something along those lines, and retweeted my tweet. So yeah, it's interesting that some people some fans don't want to be political. Josie says, where's Josie? Is that how you pronounce it? Joce? Dude, you're so embarrassing for a 40-year-old man. Grow up. I think that's really harsh. How is Jamin being embarrassing? Why does Jamin need to grow up? MJ Forever X says, dude, you've got to chill. You're basically saying that everyone who supports MJ has to have the same view in every aspect of life. That's not what it's saying at all. And you're once again gatekeeping the fandom just because you have a popular podcast. Ooh, get off of Razorfist and Siegmund's backs. MJ Cast replies, how exactly is Jamin saying here that everyone who supports MJ has to have the same views? This tweet doesn't say that. Completely agree with it. That tweet doesn't say that. The reply is, his other tweets state that it's dangerous to allow certain people to defend MJ because of their personal beliefs. If that ain't trying to gatekeep the fandom, I don't know what is. Stop dragging MJ into every situation. MJ Cast reply with, oh, the drama. That's not at all what Jamin said. His tweet said that it's dangerous to blindly support people just because they have defended MJ at some point. So Jamin is actually taking MJ out of the equation, not dragging him into it. The reply is, go back and read the tweet. He literally said it's dangerous for Michael Jackson fans to support people without looking into their background. Why bring up his name at all? Just say you don't like the guy's views and leave it at that. The MJ Cast says, I have read the tweets. I stand by my response to you with a lovely emoticon. MJ Forever X says, great, and so do I. That's my point, agree to disagree. Someone else says, what happened to you, Jamin? You used to be someone I could trust. Oh dear, used to be. Oh dear me, poor Jamin. Someone else says, I'm no fan of Siegmund or Razorfist, but Jamin Bull has always been the preachy type. Oh dear, to take shots at others. Has he been the preachy type, or does he just have an opinion and is putting that opinion out there? Like I said, inspiring like conversation and debate. It says that Jamin, he thinks is a lot more important than he is. That's not very nice, is it? MJ Cast says, I'm not sure why Jamin Bull can't have his own opinion. Everyone does. But it just seems that Jamin gets attacked. Yeah, exactly. The reply is, it's the way he undermines other fans on issues that he doesn't agree with. MJ Cast says, how is he undermining other fans? I don't see how he is undermining other fans, but it's interesting if other people are seeing that. Oh dear. And then John Chang says, look at how he treated VP Advocacy and other fans during the lip sync arguments. Okay, so I'm not aware of this. I'll have to look back on this because this will help me with my MJ Cast Exposed video that's coming up soon. Look how he treated the makers of Loving... hold on a minute. Look how he treated the makers of Loving Neverland at first. Look at what he's doing now. It's a pattern. It's a pattern that keeps repeating. It's like Jamin's a serial killer or something. How he treated the makers. He didn't treat the makers of Loving Neverland. He just shared his opinion. He gave constructive criticism. MJ Carr says, I'm not going to rehash old drama. Good. We are supporters of Loving Neverland. They've made that perfectly clear. And the creators of the film know that. Don't warp things. John replies with, of course, I'm grateful you guys have hashed it out. That's good. But don't act like Jamin wasn't in the wrong to instigate the situation. Jamin didn't instigate the situation. Jamin was one of the few people who stood up and gave some constructive criticism regarding Loving Neverland, which in turn helped to actually improve the documentary series. MJ Cast says, sorry, but I don't agree with you. Clearly we have different perspectives on this situation. Oh dear. And it goes on and on and on and on. There's been, it's not just this thread, there's been other threads about this, about MJ and politics and Jamin and Loving Neverland. But Jamin, well done. You've inspired I think a much needed discussion within the fandom. And that's it for today's MJ News Digest. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like, comment and subscribe because the best is yet to come.